Hey everybody, welcome to the video. And today what we're going to talk about is how you can play some cool boogie-woogie rhythm, right? That doesn't sound typical. Okay, so I'm going to give you some like cool sounding boogie-woogie kind of rhythm riffs. All right, so let's get right down to where the action lives down here on the fretboard, and I'll turn you on to a couple of cool boogie-woogie rhythm alternatives that'll get you sounding super awesome. We're in the key of A. And we're, instead of playing the typical rhythm chord stuff, now instead of doing that kind of thing, which is what most people would play, we're going to do something a little different. And the first thing I'll show you is going to be this. Now, it's going to be all here between the 5th and the 9th frets. And it's all going to be taking place off of the root notes of the chords and some notes around that and around the chords. Now check out, here's the first one. So you need to palm mute to get this to sound right, okay? So you want to make sure you have your palm of your hand right here over your bridge saddles, over these bridge saddles right here. And you put the palm right over them, right where the strings go over the saddles. You don't want to come up too far in the front. You just want to put it right there over the saddles so that you have this palm mute happening to keep it from ringing out like this. That's not what we're going for. We're going for laid back. So first finger on the low E string at the 5th fret, got your A note, right? And we're doing 2 strikes there. And then you go to the octave, you go up to the D string here at the 7th fret, right? Low E, 5th fret, D string, 7th fret, right? Then on the D string, you go from the 7th fret down, back down to the 5th fret. So you have this kind of like a neat L-shaped pattern, really, right? You want to get that palm mute on there, it's important. And you can also mute this A string, right? And you get a little added happiness if you just do that on the, right? It's kind of like a same directional picking, right? You just, right from the low E to that fretted A note here at the 7th fret of your D string. And then it's rinse and repeat. You do the same thing for the D chord. You go over here to the D note on the 5th fret of the A string, and you do the same thing off of this string that you did on the 5th fret of the A string up to the 7th fret of the G string. And then from the G string 7th fret down to the 5th fret of the G string like this. So far, those 2 chords for the A and the D chord, right? Right, and then back to the A chord. And then for the E, just move up to the E note here at the 7th fret of the A string, and you hit the E note, right? All palm muted. Remember, everything's got the palm mute, okay? You do the same thing up here for the E. You go 7th fret of the A string up to the 9th fret of the G string, And from the 9th fret of the G string, you go down to the 7th fret of the G string, like this. Okay? So we're doing the same thing for every chord. Just basically, you want to time it up with like where your 12 bar basic changes would be coming in. You just go to the changes instead of playing the basic typical rhythm riffs, you know? We're replacing those with this cool riff, this cool rhythm line that we're playing. Okay, so that's the first one. Here's the second cool thing you can do. Now, it's similar to the first, it's just a little bit different. So I'll play it for you and you'll see what I mean. This one starts just like the other one. We're on the low E string, 5th fret for the A note, and we're palm muting back here, right? Give it 2 picks. Go up to the A note here on the D string at the 7th fret. Right? Palm mutes, 2 picks for each of those. Right? Hit the A note again on the low E, and then the variation is going to be this part here. Put your 2nd finger on the 7th fret of the D string and your 1st finger here on the 6th fret of the G string. And you play those 2 notes together and you slide the whole thing, these 2 notes get played together. At this point, you don't have to palm mute anymore, right? Just hit those 2 notes and make sure your muting is good though. You don't want to hear anything on the B string or the high E string or this A string or low E. All those are muted out. You just want to hear the D string and the G string right here. Right? Slide the whole thing down 2 frets. Right? Right? And then you do the same thing for the D. You know, 1st finger, 5th fret of the D string, and then up to the G string up here at the 7th, down to the 5th, right? And then you want to take your 2nd and your 3rd fingers, or you could do your 3rd finger and pinky, whichever one feels right at the time, you roll with it, okay? And you just go ahead and play those 2 notes. Here at the D on the G string and the B string up here at the 7th, and then slide down 2 frets to the 5th, right? Slide it down. Okay, so far and then for the E, just like the D, same thing. 1st finger on the E note up here, 7th fret of the A string, up to the 9th fret of the G string, and the 9th fret of the G string down to the 7th fret of the G string. Then go down to the D note. See that? And then do that. So just like you did before off the D. So the whole thing together, right? And at the end of all these basic 12 bar cycles, which is, 12 bars we're playing, basic 12 bar structure, just play the E. I'm doing an E7 chord. I'm doing an E7 here, and all it is a second finger on the A string at the 7th fret. Your first finger is on the D string here at the 6th fret, and then your third finger is on the G string here at the 7th. So just those 3 strings, everything else is muted. Just want to hear the A, the D, and the G string, and that's it. And that's basically our turnaround chord. So we go to that E7, turn it around, and then go back into the variation of the boogie-woogie rhythm thing here. Okay, so here's the third variation that we're going to learn, okay? Now, I'm sure you've noticed so far, they all start off the same. It's just that they change kind of midway through, right? They're all variations of a theme, basically. You could look at it in that respect. But here, check out the third one. Check this out. So here's what's happening with that line. 5th fret low E, 7th fret D string, down to the 5th fret D string, and then 5th fret A string up to the 7th fret A string, like that. So, then you do it for the D chord off of the D note here at the 5th fret A string to the 7th fret G string down to the 5th fret G string, right? And then go to the D string and go 5th fret, 7th fret. So, okay. And then back to the A. And then for E, just move everything you did for the D up 2 frets, right? So 7th fret A string to the 9th fret of the G string. Then from the 9th fret of the G string down to the 7th fret of the G string, right? And then go to the D string. And then go to the D string here at the 7th and play that. And then go up 2 frets to the 9th fret of the D string. Play that, so. See? So the whole thing that's it. There you go. 3 cool variations you can pull in right now. So there you have it. 3 cool rhythm lines you can pull in to a boogie-woogie blues and not sound typical. Break out of that general typical rhythm thing that you hear most people do. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that, but you want to mix things up. It's kind of like, mix things up a little bit, add a little spice. Like when you're cooking, you like to add some spices. It's the same thing, with your guitar playing. You could add these little things, just inject these little things into your playing, and it opens up a whole slew of cool new ideas and everything that you'll get just by doing these. There's lots of content coming up on the channel, so make sure that you do subscribe and hit that notification icon to be among the first to know when awesome new content is loaded up on the channel. Of course, you can check me out on Facebook too. There's a link in the description. Check out the show every Saturday on Facebook. Check that out too. I'm out there talking guitar with B. You'll see me. Come on in on a Saturday sometime. Check out the show. It's lots of fun. Hope to see you there, and we'll see you again right back here next time.